Here we go. Okay, so we're back and we're reading about Clarence Jawar Smith, teacher of the 5% Nations. Words of one of our great teachers, Clarence Jawar Smith. Supreme mathematics knowledge. Supreme mathematics knowledge starts at the birth and is the foundation of all things in existence. Knowledge is the original man, the foundation of the earth's family. Knowledge is simply to know. Right knowledge is to know the right way to use it. Wisdom comes with age and is the wise word spoken by the original people of the planet Earth. Women are the moon because she receives her light from the sun, which is the Nubian man, and reflects it on the star, which is the child. Wisdom is the manifestation of one's knowing. Understanding grows into an overstanding. You have a understanding when you have baby knowledge. You have a understanding when you have adolescent knowledge. And you have a overstanding when you are a supreme being. Culture is the Nubian's true way of life. Thus, accept the word cult, for you are cultivating your culture, which is Islam, as taught by a God incarnated called Puddin, and mean I, self, Lord, and Master, which is Islam. The foundation, the freedom, is to free the dumb, the deaf, and the blind into a state of awareness so they can see that the Nubian man is indeed a deity. Power or refinement. Power is truth, which is the light of the intellect that brings one out of triple stages of darkness in their true way of life, which is Islam. Refinement is to be clean and purified, mentally as well as physically. Equality is to be equal in full things in existence, such as knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When you dare or when you share your knowledge through wisdom and brings forth an understanding, it only shows improved equality. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is all being born to equal 6. God, the letter G, is the 7th letter of the English alphabet. God is a deity that is the original Nubian man who has power to build or destroy. Deity is the Nubian man who has a knowledge of himself and all this around him. Build or destroy. Build is to add on and to elevate on positivity. Destroy is to take away negativity. Build a righteous nation and destroy the devil's civilization is to be brought into existence physically as well as mentally. Physically through the mother's womb and mentally through Allah's mathematics. Cipher is a 360-degree circle consisting of 120 degrees of knowledge, 120 degrees of wisdom, and 120 degrees of understanding, making it complete. Peace equals positive energy, always creates elevation. When the number 10 is manifested, it will be knowledge add on cipher or knowledge cipher. knowledge representing the number 1, and cipher representing the number 0. The 12 Jews, as taught by God incarnated, put it. Knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. Wisdom. Wisdom is the manifestation of the knowledge one acquires. Overstanding is the mental picture projected through knowing and wisdom. Freedom is to free the dome so that you may express your culture, Islam, with no restriction. Justice is reward or penalty given to one according to their own deeds. Equality is to deal with one another. All things, each one teach one. You have what they call food. Food is the nourishment needed to sustain the physical and mental. Physically by nutritious elements given to the body to keep it healthy. Mentally by Allah's mathematics. Clothing is the covering to protect the body, to protect it physically, mentally, and it is the covering of the mind to protect it from negative thoughts or suggestions. Shelter. Physically, it is home, a place, residence where one finds peace and protection from negative weather. Mentally, it is the mind. Love. Love is the highest devotion of overstanding with a force so strong it cannot be broken. Peace. Peace is a universal greeting coming out of love because without love there could never be peace. Happiness. Happiness is the state one achieves out of love and happiness. So now I'm going to talk about supreme alphabets. So we're going to start with that. A is Allah, is original Nubian man, the maker, the owner of the planet, Earth, and is the one who made the Holy Quran, which he applies to every mile of land, 1 year to equal his home circumference, who is the all-seeing eye. Allah sees all. B. B is be or born. You must be born physically first, then you must be born twice mentally. As the ones who haven't been born twice mentally are the poison animal eaters, slave of the mental death and power, people who worship a mystery deity. These are the ones that have to be born again. C, the letter C is see. To see is to overstand. At one time, we couldn't truly see the trick that was planted in our path because we had the all-eye mattress thrown over our eyes. But we've been born twice, and now that we are Allah, the supreme eye that can see all. D, the divine or destroy. In order for you to be divine, you must destroy all negative thoughts in your brain by building on positive thoughts in this day and time. The only way you can be divine is by building with I, self, Lord, and Master. E. E represents equality. Equality is the equal. It's to be equal in every form of knowledge with your agreeableness in order to take the planet from the devil, who is the unalike or disagreeable. Father. F is father. F is to father the young with the knowledge of self, which is righteousness, and by teaching them the science of everything in life, which is love, peace, and happiness. G. G represents God. G is the supreme being, the original man, the one who is a winner without an opponent in everything he deals with. Because God put all things here, by exercising his power and acknowledging his equality from all things built upon. H represent he or her. H must refine her with the knowledge of he, which is God, in order to build and birth a strong foundation to carry out civilization through the queen. I, or Islam, or I, like an eyeball. I is the only universal way of life for the original people of the earth. This is Islam, and the only one that knows and understands that is God. And God must resurrect the dead with Islam, teaching that which brings them to freedom, justice, and equality. Justice, J. All those who can't deal with this will be just ice at 32 degrees below zero because they fail to understand the wisdom of God, which deals just and truth with all human families on the planet Earth. K is king or kingdom. The king is the founder of his kingdom, so he must acknowledge the knowledge in his circumference so that he can enforce his laws to be recognized as being the king of his kingdom. L is love, hell, or right. The love is the understanding, and misunderstanding is what brought forth hell. But this is all going back to the degree of supreme understanding, because this is the only truth that is right and exact at all times. M represent master. M is the one who has experienced a certain type of skill. But the master is all of all is God, Allah, because he knows and understands all circumstances of the earth as well in the universe. N is now or nations, plural. Now is the time for the original man to mend all his weak ways, so that the original man can uprise the knowledge of all his creation and put them in all in order once again, and surely it will be there in now. Zero or cipher. Zero or O, the cipher, is a person, place, or a thing. It is most commonly called cipher because C.I. power through the equality that gives her by mastering her with his mind, her powers. You must see in order to master her equality. P, power. Power, mental and physical powers of a devil is nothing in comparison to that of the original man. The devil has 6 ounces of grafted brain, which are weak and wicked, 100%. But God's power is original, meaning the first, and possess 7 ounces of brains, which put all things here, which is also 100%. The understanding in God is what makes him Allah. Q, queen, the most purified particle of Allah, better known as Ru, rich black soil, the mother of civilization, who has the scale of justice within her, but is still blind to her powers, which is being queen of the universe and earth below, but has power to control both from the energies God gave her. R is for rule or ruler. R is the only ruler there is, by acknowledging his building powers and making it born all planets of the universe. They can go according to it and bear witness to who the true ruler is. S represents self or savior. You must be a savior to yourself so that in the atmosphere you're in, you can be capable of saving self for the best part, because self of the nation of the five ascendants from the knowledge to born self. T represents truth or square. The truth is the only light that can stand by itself in the surrounding darkness, yet be noticed shining in the square of the universe, which is 360 degrees. When wisdom adds a cipher, it shines. That energy, the truth, breaks through darkness. You and universe. You are the universe because you are the protector of the sun, moon, and stars, the original people. V represent victory, and wisdom brings about a bad culture. When one wisdom is destroying instead of acting according to the way of life that makes the culture, I God, which is Islam, the only victory known. W represent wisdom. Wisdom is the expression of knowledge, while the overstanding brings about a clear picture of both through the eye of overstanding. X. The letter X represents the unknown to those who do not know themselves. The dumb, the deaf, and the blind, the so-called Negroes that need to grow from their mental depth and power, because they are unknown to themselves. Why? The letter Y is why. Why is the question most frequently asked by those who are blind, deaf, and dumb, because they do not know how to use their wisdom, their power to show and prove the Nubian man was and is the original deity. Then you have Z. Z represents zigzag, zig, meaning knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is how it was converted from Clarence Jawar Smith, known as putting and the law, to his followers, the 5% nation. I want to thank you for that reading. I want y'all to resurrect yourself from any undoing that's not righteous and work on it, work with it, and be who you are. Be the oath you have taken.